Torymagoo44 with Mr. Anonymous. He happens to be here tonight. It's very chilly here. I just had a wonderful time. I went to an actual, it was a signing of this book by Ray Bradbury. If you haven't read it, it's supposed to be a really cool book, Dandelion Wine. But it was so wonderful to hear these three artists talk. It was so fantastic. There were three different ones, writers and filmmakers, and they were there, and it was incredible. I mean, they were all probably maybe in their 80s, maybe late 70s, but truly fantastic lives. And he just couldn't say enough about how you need to live a life of love, not for money. You know, you got to do something you love. And I think Mr. Anonymous would agree with that, right? Let's see if we can get him in here. Anyway, all right. So that's what I did tonight. It was very cool. That's one of the neat things in LA. There's a lot of cool things to do. So Mr. Anonymous and I have been getting a bunch of communications from people, and Mr. Anonymous is going to ask me a question. So I'm going to answer it. What does Scientology think about gays? Okay, that's a good question, Mr. Anonymous. What does Scientology think about gays? All right? I don't think Mr. Anonymous is gay. I think he's straight. He's from Norway. But you know what? It's okay, whatever he is. A couple of people have written to me about their own families, actually, giving them a really hard time. And I want to tell you something. You have every right to whatever sexual belief or feeling that you have. And nobody should be putting you down for that. Now, in Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard was an extremely homophobic man. He was anti-gay. His son was gay. He ended up either killing himself or being killed. I'm not sure which, but he was found dead in the desert in the 70s. And I remember when it happened, it was a real, like, don't ask, don't tell. It was pretty weird, and it kind of grew throughout the years. You know, he wrote a book called Science of Survival where he talks about different emotional tones that people have, all the way from enthusiasm, which is, you know, and aesthetics and enthusiasm, which are at the top, to high interest, to down into the lower ones where you're antagonistic. 2.0, he says, is antagonism, and then anger and grief and sympathy. All those are really bad, low-toned emotions. And Scientologists only want to be around high-toned people. Come on in, it's the Truman Show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We're having a great time. They're always up in those high tones, because if they're below 2.0, that's not very high-toned, is it? And Hubbard had a lot to say about that. So for people that were gay or homosexuals or anyone with a chronic illness, he said, we're 1-1. Now, I know about this. I've told you guys I have epilepsy. Now, whether I really still have it or not, I don't even know. I haven't had a seizure in 20 years. But the point being, when I was in Scientology, they were trying to get me off my medication. So I was having grand mal seizures, and they'd always be like, well, you know what, Tori, you're not being responsible enough. And it's like, you come have a grand mal seizure and talk to me about responsibility. You know, then we'll sit down and talk. You know, it's just ridiculous. So people that are gay have a very hard time in Scientology, because they're basically saying there's something wrong with you and you need more auditing to fix it. Here's the absolute truth. If anybody just happens to be lurking and you're in Scientology, that's a complete lie. It is not true at all. You don't need to get fixed at all. Okay? Some of the top people in Scientology, there's a bunch of people that are gay that are in Scientology. One of the more famous ones, rumor has it, is John Travolta, that he's at least bisexual. I know he's married, he has children, but from what I've heard and seen, I mean, he's kissing a man on the lips. He's been found and known to be in different places. I don't really care what his sexuality is. That's fine with me. But Johnny, why are you staying in a homophobic group? I don't understand that. I really don't. Now, I know now you're going to really go into being straight, but I wish you'd be honest and straight with yourself. It would really be healthy and good for you and for everybody else, okay? Because there's another man in Scientology that often sues people if they say he's gay, Tom Cruise. Now, Tommy, I don't give a damn what sexuality you are either. But don't you be sending private investigators over to my friends' houses because I thanked you on TV for setting a good example as a Scientologist. That's all I did. I said, I think Tom Cruise did a great job showing people what an OT looks like. And you know what? Scientology sent private investigators to 2 of my friends' houses to see if I was libeling Tom Cruise. Well, I'm not libeling you, Tommy. I don't give a damn. I just think it's pretty odd for a man to sue people because they say he's gay. Who cares? If you're not, why would you care? Why would you possibly sue someone because of that? Oh, because you're an actor and that might ruin your... I think you're a good actor. I actually like you. I enjoy your movies. I don't think you have to worry about it so much. Okay? But for people that are in or thinking about joining, you have to know that this is a big deal in Scientology. Or if you have a chronic illness, don't be going into Scientology. They don't have tools to fix you. They're going to say they do, but they don't. They're going to say at first, there's a lot of things they say, but they're very hypocritical people. And the truth is, they do not have the tools to fix chronic illnesses, okay? And I know everybody would think, oh, it would be nice if you could, but the bottom line, honest to God truth is, they don't, okay? So save your money, save your life, have a good life, and go do what you want to do, because you know what's right for you, and it doesn't matter what other people think about it. In Scientology, stop making people feel like there's something wrong with them when there isn't, okay? That's what I have to say. I hope all of you have a fantastic week, and good night.